Bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presidente es el mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito, not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark, not with us this morning. He was with us last night on another epic episode of Deuces Wild. Go ahead and check that out in the vault if you have not already. Regardless, we come on here each and every single morning and we properly salute our boys as well as each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks. When we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you, and a special good morning to my wife, who so diligently checks to make sure the sound is properly working. Okay, today's electronic email communication that went out earlier this morning, titled The Play. Buenos dias. Today is November 20th, 2024, and on this day 42 years ago, Cal beat Stanford in what was arguably the most memorable play in Bay Area and college sports history. Daily Hustle quote of the day: the most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game over Stanford. Joe Starkey, one of my favorite broadcasters of all time. Daily Hustle translation: Stanford had just pulled off an incredible last-minute drive and hit a field goal with 4 seconds left to take a 20-19 lead over Cal at Memorial Coliseum in Berkeley in 1982 during the 85th big game matchup between the two schools. Stanford proceeded to kick off, and the ball was received by Cal player Kevin Moen, who, along with the other Cal players on the field, had one instruction: do not get tackled with the ball. Moen was swarmed quickly, so he pitched the ball to Richard Rogers, who was also bombarded, so he fired the ball to Dwight Gardner at around the Cal 45. Gardner got to midfield before being tackled, but somehow managed to get the ball back to Rogers, believing Gardner was officially down and the game was over. This is when the Stanford band, as well as other Stanford players, fans, and personnel, began storming the field. In the meantime, Rogers took the ball to the Stanford 45 and pitched it to Marriott Ford. Ford sprinted to his right and made it through several members of the 144-member band before getting tackled at the Stanford 27. Yet while Ford was falling forward, he desperately tossed the ball over his right shoulder to Kevin Moen, the dude who originally fielded the kick. Moen then avoided a couple more Stanford players, band members, cheerleaders, and, check this out, my old hitting coach, Mike Aldretti, at the 15-yard line. Though, thank you, VSAC, for that information, by the way. Before barreling over the trombonist, Gary Tyrell, to score the miraculous game-winning touchdown. Oftentimes in life, our back is against the wall and defeat seems imminent. Yet, when we are able to simplify the process and follow a simple instruction, such as, hey, don't get tackled with the ball, not only do we have the ability to survive, but we also have the capabilities to defy all odds and shock the world, as well as forever etch our name and place into history. Let's just make sure not to get tackled with the ball and fucking bulldoze anything and everything in our way. EB. Okay, so yeah, I was very curious this morning when I saw that it was the 42nd anniversary of the play. And I didn't realize this, but they were saying that quarterback John Elway was instructed to call a timeout with 8 seconds to go because Stanford's coach, just in case the holder muffed the hold for whatever reason, he wanted a little extra time. Now, Stanford could have let the clock run down to 1, called the timeout, kicked the field goal, and that would have been it. But they left themselves 8 seconds just in case. This is why you can't play scared, folks. This is it. But when I saw that Elway was the quarterback, and you have to understand, my memories of the play are certainly there, but they're vague. I was 6 years old at the time. So I do know that VSAC, Vince Sikowski, good family friend of ours, was at Stanford with Elway. And I knew him and Elway are best friends. And so immediately when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I'll text VSAC to see if he was at the game. And so I asked him, and he goes, dude, not only were we at the game, but Aldretti, who he was with, they're all Stanford baseball players, right? Ran onto the field. And I think Steve Bushnell was with them as well. But Aldretti was at the 15-yard line. Now, of course, Mike Aldretti played a long time in the big leagues, including with the Yankees and the San Francisco Giants. I think he was with the A's. He's still coaching with the A's now. I mean, I got to get Aldo on here to clarify his story. But what a cool memory. It's just being a part of history like that. Who gives a shit that they lost? I bet you if you go back and you ask any Stanford fan, and I would love to do that, right, with VSAC or even Elway, who was playing in the game, or Aldo, who was running onto the field at the 15-yard line, just ask them, yo, dude, what was, if you were to go back and say, I want everything to end the same except the play never happened, right? You kick the field goal, you kick off, or you run the clock down to 1, you kick the field goal, and it's over. Or you say, you know what? Sometimes in life, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than my desires. It's bigger than my wants. What's funny is that if you ask someone within my generation, probably not my generation, but a little after, they probably don't even remember who fucking won the game. They probably have no idea that was Cal that returned the kick as opposed to Stanford. They'll remember a band running on the field. They'll remember the fact that it was Stanford and Cal that actually played in the game. So, again, I just think it's really super cool to be a part of that historical moment. Now, I could go back and look at 2001, for example, when I was at Yankee Stadium taking an at-bat against Mariano Rivera with the season on the line. And, of course, I wanted to succeed, and I went up there, and I battled my ass off, and I ended up striking out. But it wasn't even too long after that I was able to step back from it and be like, man, what a cool moment. What an awesome opportunity right after 9/11 to be there in that situation with the season on the line. We had a 2-0 lead on the Yankees. They came back. They pretty much dominated that last game start to finish. So I looked at it too. We were down a couple runs as I have nothing to lose sort of situation. But a lot of times in life, these moments are way bigger than us as individuals and our own selfish wants and selfish needs. Okay, let's get rolling with today's Daily Hustle. I've come across a lot of articles and Instagram posts claiming that the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight was rigged. So I've read the articles. I've seen the clips. Yeah, I get it. My overall opinion on this, 1,000%. It was fucking rigged. No question about it. And it is actually really frustrating because at the time watching the fight, I found myself yelling at Tyson like, dude, fucking counter, get in there. And it just didn't make sense to me. There were also times when Paul could have knocked Tyson the fuck out. Now, once he was dominating the fight, And he had those opportunities to knock Tyson out, and he didn't take them. I understood. I really did. I was like, okay, yeah. You know what? If I was Jake Paul in that situation, I might do the exact same thing. But to the contrary, I didn't realize how much of an opportunity Mike Tyson had to actually win that fight himself, especially in the early rounds. And even at the end, if Tyson's going to sit here and block, there was 2 times for Tyson to get him. It was at the very beginning where he came out firing and won the first 2 rounds, or it was like, save yourself to the last round, and then in the last round, unleash fury, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, they're saying that early on when Jake Paul went to hug him, he got in his ear, and he's like, yo, bro, take it easy, dude. Chill the fuck out if you want to get paid. Don't you want to get paid? So if you're Mike Tyson, I want you to remember this. That's a $20 million payday. And like him or not, Jake Paul commands a fucking gigantic audience. Is he a great fighter? Man, going back and looking at all the clips, the answer to that is no. He's not. There are so many windows of opportunity that any real heavyweight in that situation would have knocked him the fuck out. But I do like him. Like, I dig a lot of what he's about. Not everything. I dig a lot of what he's about. That said, if you're Jake Paul, man, you got to be really careful with quote unquote rigging the fight. And if he did, I don't know exactly what was agreed upon. People have said that Tyson was not allowed to uppercut. And you could see so many opportunities he had to uppercut, and which he didn't uppercut, which is his famous boom to the body, back to the face, and that would have been it. So I certainly did not want to see a fight that was fixed in the sense that Jake Paul was allowed to win. Now, if you say, okay, no uppercuts from both sides or no this or that, I mean, that's fine. But it's almost like you got to make that shit public. And you got to say, here are the rules. You already jaded the real boxing rules. And how this was a certified fight is a fucking joke. I mean, it's to 2-minute rounds are normally 3 minutes. So anyhow, it's just, it's baffling. It's disappointing in a lot of ways. If you're going to fight Tyson, just fucking fight him. And if he's willing to get in the ring and you have a chance to knock him out, knock him the fuck out. It's all part of it. It's not like the guy hasn't been hit in the head before. So hopefully that wasn't the case. But, well, unfortunately, I got to believe that it was. Okay. Manager of the Year was announced yesterday. And it was Stephen Vogt of the Cleveland Indians, as well as Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers. Both guys did a terrific job. Vogt, wire to wire, certainly earned Manager of the Year honors. I will continue to make a strong argument that it should have been AJ Hinch. Only because he had a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs, him and the Tigers did, as late as, I think it was August or maybe even early September. The turnaround that happened with the Tigers, with literally one starting pitcher, Tariq Skubal. Now, a good one, the guy who's most likely going to be named the Cy Young Award winner tonight. But the way Hinch pieced together the bullpen along with his lineup without having a superstar in there, it was impressive. So anyhow, that was my opinion on that. Pat Murphy, yeah, I mean, the guy's just a baseball lifer, right? He was at Notre Dame. He was at Arizona State. Managed the minor leagues for a long time. Got a short stint with the Padres earlier in his professional career. Counsell pegged him. And I remember talking to Counsell about it. He's like, if I ever get a manager job, Pat Murphy's the guy I'm taking with me. He told me this before he got the job. Because that's my guy. Just believed in him and a baseball man from a strategic standpoint. And for 9 years, Pat Murphy was a bench coach under Craig Counsell. Counsell leaves for 8 million reasons to Chicago. Murphy takes over, far exceeds expectations, and he is the manager of the year in the National League. Carlos Mendoza of the Mets, again, I would make a really, 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 really strong argument that he should have been manager of the year just based on the fact that the Mets were so dog shit at the beginning. And he was able to get them out of the funk, him and Francisco Lindor. They make the miraculous run into the postseason, end up beating the Phillies. So I know the postseason's not supposed to matter for manager of the year, but it's tough not to look back upon what actually did happen in the postseason. And Carlos Mendoza just seems like a real one. So congratulations to Pat Murphy. Congratulations to Stephen Vogt. And most importantly, I don't think most importantly, but it's nice to recognize the hard work that went in between all these guys. And, again, bring up Carlos Mendoza. Mike Schilt was another one of the finalists. Schilt, great job in San Diego, got these guys buying in. I think definitely should have come in third place when it came to that National League manager of the year. The Padres are so fucking damn talented. So I don't think it takes a rocket science to go ahead and manage that team. Okay, here's some fun that I want to do, and I'm going to rip through this. I don't have a ton of time this morning, but I saw an article that tiered the free agents. So here we are, basically entering the thick of things coming up. And there's a lot of free agents on the board. I didn't even realize. And so there's an article here by Mark Feinstein that tiers the free agents. Like if we had a fantasy draft, we would be tiering our guys. Well, tier 1, and I like this, and Mark is right on this one, is one guy. It's Juan Soto. He is in a tier by himself. Tier 2 then goes to Willy Adames, the shortstop that I think could be a fantastic fit in, so many spots. This dude is really, really fucking good. He came up with the Rays and then ended up getting traded over to the Brewers. He's in his age 29 season, but this guy is really, really good. He had personal best 32 homers, 112 RBIs, and one of the reasons why the Brewers were so successful and have been so successful over the past however many years. Pete Alonso is another guy. This is interesting in tier 2. I don't know. It says he's posted at least a 4.0 B WAR, so that's baseball reference WAR, in 3 of his first 5 full seasons, while his big postseason moments last month added another line on his free agent resume. Yeah, big slugging, power hitting first baseman. Would you rather have Pete Alonso or Alex Bregman? I'd probably take Bregman. Pete Alonso or Corbin Byrnes, because those are the next 2 guys in tier 2. Quality, reliable starting pitcher. Yeah, I'd probably go Corbin Byrnes. So I love Pete Alonso. I love the pop, as much pop as anybody in all of baseball. I like the attitude. I love the fact that he wants to play every single day. Yeah, I don't know. You make the argument he should be here in tier 2. Max Fried's another guy in tier 2. The left-handed starter, 54 and 25, 2.81 ERA since the beginning of 2020. Teoscar Hernandez is entering free agency again. I'm surprised the Dodgers haven't locked him up. He is really fucking good. He signed a 1-year, $23.5 million deal with the Dodgers last winter. Hit a career high 33 homers. Anthony Santander, he had 44 homers I mean, there's a lot of really good free agents out there. This bodes well for the Giants. If you're a Giants fan, the more free agents you got, the more of a shot you have at signing one of these guys, whether it's Santander. I think Teoscar Hernandez would be a great fit in San Francisco if you're looking for a position player. And of course, Corbin Byrnes or Max Fried. I mean, just take either one of those guys as well. Okay, Blake Snell they have as a tier 2. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, he's right up there with every one of them. So if you're the Giants and you lose Snell, the guys you go after from a pitching perspective, obviously, are Corbin Byrnes, Max Fried, and then this guy right here, Roki Sasaki, who is going to be very valuable on the free agent market. This is the most intriguing free agent of the offseason. Sasaki offers the most upside at the young age of 23. Most importantly, his status as an international amateur player means that the teams won't have to break the bank to sign him. They just need to convince him that they're the team he should join. San Francisco, I would say, is actually could potentially have a shot right there. Okay, tier 3. Here's some guys I won't mind having in my rotation either. Shane Bieber, Walker Buehler, Nathan Eovaldi, Carlos Estevez, Jack Flaherty, just a bunch of pitchers here. Jeff Hoffman, Clay Holmes, and then we get to the outfielders. So all that's Max Kepler, Yasui Kikuchi, Ha-Sung Kim. That'd be a nice sign anywhere. That guy's fucking good. Remember his WAR is such ridiculous. His defensive WAR is off the charts. Sean Manaea, Tyler O'Neill, Jock Peterson, Nick Pivetta, Jurickson Profar, coming off the huge year. Tanner Scott, Luis Severino, Gleyber Torres. I forgot he was a free agent. Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks. This guy's a stud, averaging 32 homers and 94 RBIs per season. 813 OPS. I mean, there's some really good guys on the free agent market. And then check this out, tier 4. So this is why I'm saying don't panic. You only have one tier 1 guy, Soto. You go after him, you see what you can do. You got a chance, great. If not, the difference between tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 aren't that much. All you need is one guy to far surpass expectations or surpass expectations, another guy to fall below, and that tier 2 guy or that tier 3 guy is going to be above the tier 2 guy. Now check out the tier 4s. Ready? Sean Armstrong, Matthew Boyd, Alex Cobb, Michael Conforto, Paul DeYoung, Dylan Floro, Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's a fucking free agent. I mean, you got to believe he could catch lightning in a ball. He's only 37. Former perennial all-star MVP, Andrew Heaney, Kyle Higashioka, Jose Iglesias. Hey, Jose Iglesias. Can we get the OMG? That'd be cool. Clayton Kershaw, Ha-Sung Kim, Michael Lorenzen, JD Martinez, Frankie Montas, Martin Perez, Jorge Polanco, Jose Quintana, Anthony Rizzo, David Robertson, Joe Ross, Carlos Santana, Max Scherzer at 40 years young, Blake Trinan, Justin Turner, Alex Verdugo, Justin Verlander, Jesse Winker, Kirby Yates. I mean, is it just me or there are a lot of fucking free agents? I mean, this doesn't even get into tier 5. Ready? Scott Alexander, Harrison Bader. Like legit players. Scott Barlow, Jalen Beeks, Josh Bell, Mark Canha, Andrew Chafin, Aroldis Chapman, Mike Clevenger, Patrick Corbin, Danny Colombe, J.D. Davis, Elias Diaz, Buck Farmer, Kyle Farmer, Caleb Ferguson, Chris Flexen, Joey Gallo, Yimi Garcia, Kyle Gibson, Trevor Gott, Yasmani Grandal, Kendall Graven, Randall Grichuk, Garrett Hampson, the kid from Reno, Kike Hernandez is a fucking free agent, Jason Hayward, Tim Hill. I mean, if you're a contender, how don't you sign Kike Hernandez, right? If you're the Dodgers, how don't you bring him back? Adrian Hauser, Danny Jensen, Kenley Jansen, Jacob Junis, Tommy Canley, Carson Kelly, Joe Kelly, Craig Kimbrell, Andrew Kittredge, Jose Leclerc, Jose Lopez, Nicky Lopez, Lance Lynn, Chris Martin, Phil Matone, Andrew McCutchen, who had a great year with the Pirates last year. I don't know, great, but the guy was still productive. Whit Merrifield, AJ Minter, Yohan Moncada, Charlie Morton. Dude, Charlie Morton's 41. I didn't realize that. Hector Neris, David Peralta, Tommy Pham, Brooks Raley, Colin Rea, Ahmed Rosario, Gary Sanchez, Paul Sewald, Lucas Sims, Will Smith. The left-handed pitcher, Will Smith, that is. Drew Smiley, Donovan Solano, Ryan Stanek, Hunter Strickland. Good for Hunter Strickland still playing. Michael A. Taylor, Spencer Turnbull, Gio Ursula, Trevor Williams, and Ryan Yarborough. That's just a crazy list, if you ask me. Like, those guys are all big leaguers. Like, legitimate big leaguers. So, a lot of openings out there, a lot of moving parts. You got to believe that is going to be that's certainly going to be something that we're all going to watch. There's just going to be, and it happens every offseason where this guy ends up here, this guy ends up here, and then you have to try to digest all of this as you get into spring training. Okay, let's check the CBS Sports app. That's, I don't know why, but my favorite one when it comes to the action yesterday. It was the Celtics taking down the Cavaliers. Celtics now 12-3. The Cavaliers take their first loss of the season at 120-117 was the final score of that one. Nets 116-115 over the Hornets. Yeah, the Grizzlies going down to the Nuggets. Nuggets 8-5, Grizzlies 8-7. That's 122-110. Pelicans, they go down to the Mavericks, 132-91. Shit. Seriously? Huh. The Spurs 110-104 over the Thunder. The Spurs are 7-8. They're just going to continue to get a little bit better each and every single day. Okay, and then the Lakers 124-118 over the Jazz. You ready for this? If you're a gambler, which, yeah, most of you are. And by the way, did I mention that we're sponsored by BetOnline? If I haven't already, I apologize. BetOnline, the number one online gambling destination for all the latest news, scores, odds, predictions, whatever else you fucking want. It's all there for you at BetOnline. You got NBA action, you got college hoops, you have the NFL, you got NCAA football, big playoffs coming up. Whatever it is you want to bet on, it is there for you. BetOnline, the number one online gambling destination and our title sponsor. Okay, so of the games last night, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of 6 went over. NC2A football last night, it was Akron 38-17 over Kent State. Kent State's 0-11. Good golly. Central Michigan 16-14 over Western Michigan. Miami, Ohio 29 over Northern Illinois. You had one over, and that was the Akron-Kent State game, and then the other two went under. NC2A men's basketball, Kansas took down UNC Wilmington 84-66. Marquette 76-58 over Purdue. Florida goes to 5-0 with an 84-60 win over Florida A&M. Kentucky 97-68 over Lipscomb. I've been to Lipscomb. I actually talked to their baseball team. Really cool. I think it's a Christian college out there in Nashville. Cincinnati 76-60 over Northern Kentucky. Cincinnati is the 18th ranked team in the country, now 4-0. UConn 81-46 over East Texas. In the NHL, Oilers 5-2 over the Senators. Ducks 3-2 over the Blackhawks. Lightning 3-2 over the Penguins. Islanders go down to the Flames 2-1. The Rangers, they're 12-4-1, 4-3 over the Canucks. You had the Minnesota Wild 4-2 over the Blues. Minnesota Wild's 12-3-3. Damn. And the Florida Panthers and the Winnipeg Jets, a huge matchup last night in Winnipeg, and it was the Jets 16-3-0 now with a 6-3 victory over the Panthers. So there is your latest scoreboard. As far as the NFL power rankings in week 12, just in case anyone was curious, no, you're not asking me to log in. That I will not do. I will say the last thing here as we just go to news. Like, you don't have to go far for this because we got some action outside right now. We have a bomb cyclone that is hitting the Northern California area. This is the same bomb cyclone that absolutely fucking destroyed the Seattle area. At least 2 dead, unfortunately, as it slammed into Seattle. Fierce winds leaving 700,000 people without power. So that is one of the top stories right now. Let's see here. The effects from a rapidly developing bomb cyclone slammed to the Seattle area Tuesday night, killing 2 people and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands as 50 to 75-mile-per-hour winds toppled trees across the region. That's what you got to look out for. We actually had a tree. We had a guy out here just a few minutes ago taking a look at one of our trees. They say the best way to stay safe in these situations is to get into the lowest lying area of the house and ideally out of the way of where you think a tree could potentially fall. Yeah. That's about it. We got snow right now happening. I got a pickleball game in Reno. Thursday night football is back on tomorrow night. And let's see what we got here for tonight's action. NBA, Pelicans at Cavs, Blazers at Thunder, Bulls at Bucks, Hawks at Warriors. Warriors 10-3. Pacers at Rockets, Knicks at Suns, 76ers at the Grizzlies, Magic at the Clippers. Let's see here as far as lines. Warriors are 7.5-point favorites against the Hawks. Yeah, return home. Cavs minus 13.5. I mean, the Cavs are legit. It's kind of a letdown game, though, right? After you lost that first one, for them to get hyped up to come back to face a Pelicans team. Yeah, I don't know. College football night, Buffalo at Eastern Michigan, Ohio at Toledo. And then as far as men's basketball is concerned, Gonzaga, it's Long Beach State traveling to Gonzaga. Gonzaga is number 3 in the country. They play UCLA coming up here in the Intuit Center. The Clippers new arena that just looks sick. Illinois at Alabama. Illinois is a 25th ranked team in the country. Alabama is 8th. Southern Utah at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 23rd ranked team. And then Merrimack at Rutgers. Rutgers is a 24th ranked team in the country. In hockey, it's the Golden Knights at the Maple Leafs, the Sabres at the Kings, the Hurricanes at the Flyers, the Sharks at the Stars, and the Predators, of course, are in Seattle at the Kraken. Kraken 9-9 so far this year. All right, I'm done. Everyone have a fantastic day. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, if you could leave a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Stay safe out there with the weather. Travel safe. Be diligent. And that's it. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow morning on Daily Hustle. See ya!